Good morning, beautiful angels. Welcome to the Daily Medicine Prayer. I'm so excited that you're here. It is a very special day. They all are, today especially. um, Something came through yesterday that totally blew my mind due to us all practicing going into our heart and letting us lead from that place where our humanity and our divinity are starting to merge it back into this state of wholeness, which then triggers the experience of heaven on earth for us. So let's start, before we do anything, by taking deep breaths in through our nose and out through our mouth, calming the vagus nerve and getting us into a state of total relaxation. Do at least 3 of those. And as you're doing that in your awareness, picture yourself traveling into the center of your own heart. This is like a cave. It's dark, it's infinite, it's the sparkly void of God. Your soul is completely surrounding this cave. There's pulsating rhythms of unconditional love that make up the cave vibrationally. And from this place, we ask that we are completely aligned with the will of God, surrendering ourselves completely into God. And as you can see, the surrendering into God now takes place inside of our hearts. And that heart is starting to merge with our soul. And what is that? That's the humanness of the heart is starting to merge with the divinity of the soul. This is amazing. This is a miracle. And what I noticed yesterday, as the Holy Spirit is filling all of us up right now, I noticed that what I used to picture as like local to this area, it expanded on its own. It was like all of a sudden my whole body was the cave. And then my whole soul was around my whole body. And instead of it being this a vision where it was localized to this part of my body, my heart body, I was going so deep into it that it was then like expanding around me. And that's how I experience it now. I no longer like shrink my awareness to fit into the center of my body. All of a sudden I think about going into my heart and I'm aware that I'm in this dark void of God. And then my soul is sprinkling and dancing around it, not separate from it, completely attuned to it. And then living from constantly asking my own inner world, my own inner God, that drop of God within me, like I'm a drop of water in the ocean, asking that drop questions and moving from that place. And what that has done, doing that while simultaneously reading the Course in Miracles every day, is extremely profound, because it makes the Course in Miracles very multidimensional. And it's like my higher self is speaking to me through my inner God how to amplify the Course in Miracles practice. So I'm starting to do some lessons for 2 days because they're so nourishing and juicy and I just don't want to move on. So this is my second day on lesson 46. And I want to read the lesson to you guys, and then I want to tell you what my higher self is doing to show me how to amplify this practice as not just the singled off designated practice periods, but how to weave it into my being. So I'm not practicing something and going over something in my head. I'm commanding these new realities through this new insight. It's really profound. So the lesson is lesson 46. God is the love in which I forgive. God does not forgive because he has never condemned, and there must be condemnation before forgiveness is necessary. Forgiveness is the great need of this world, but that is because it is a world of illusions. Those who forgive are thus releasing themselves from illusions, while those who withhold forgiveness are binding themselves to them. As you condemn only yourself, so do you forgive only yourself. So reading that is really profound. because it allowed me to see that this mantra, this practice, God is the love in which I forgive, is a remedy. It's a correction of the ego mind's world that it created. The correction goes back to the God mind. So as you're saying this, God is the love in which I forgive, you are correcting the separation that occurred between your humanness and your divinity. It's a direct medicinal spell or command through words to correct the way that the mind sees. And I felt it. I was feeling it viscerally. Yet, although God does not forgive, his love is nevertheless the basis of forgiveness. Fear condemns and love forgives. Forgiveness thus undoes what fear has produced, returning the mind to the awareness of God. And that's what we're doing when we go inside. We're returning our mind to the awareness of God's mind. For this reason, forgiveness can truly be called salvation, and it is, and I'll tell you why. I'm so excited to get to my part. Can you tell? It is the means by which illusions disappear. Today's exercises require at least 3 full 5-minute practice periods and as many shorter ones as possible. Begin the longer practice periods by repeating today's idea to yourself as usual. Close your eyes as you do so, and spend a minute or two in searching your mind for those whom you have not forgiven. It does not matter how much you have not forgiven them. You have forgiven them entirely or you haven't. If you are doing the exercises well, you should have no difficulty in finding a number of people you have not forgiven. It is a safe rule that anyone you do not like is a suitable subject. Mention each one by name and say, God is the love in which I forgive you, and their name. The purpose, and you can also do places and towns and countries, and you can do whatever you want. It doesn't have to be a person. The purpose of this first phase of today's practice period is to put you in a position to forgive yourself. After you have applied the idea to all of those who have come to mind, tell yourself, God is the love in which I forgive myself. Then devote the remainder of the practice period to adding related ideas such as, I love these. God is the love with which I forgive myself. God is the love with which I love myself. God is the love in which I am blessed. The form of the application may vary considerably, but the central idea should not be lost sight of. You might say, for example, I cannot be guilty because I am a son of God. I have already been forgiven. No fear is possible in a mind beloved of God. There is no need to attack because love has forgiven me. The practice period should end, however, with the repetition of today's idea as originally stated. God is the love in which I forgive you. So, I was doing this. I did the meditation and I was walking around. I was walking my cats. And I was saying, repeatedly, God is the love in which I forgive. And then I would name someone or something or a situation or a memory or whatever. I was mixing it up. And I was like, oh, I should put this mantra into my heart cave, into that God inside of me, and then see how that part of me responds. So I closed my eyes and I put the God is the love in which I forgive. I put that in my heart. And the way she responded by telling me one line at a time. She said, I'm sorry. And I said, I'm sorry. And she said, please forgive me. I said, please forgive me. And then she said, thank you. I said, thank you. And then she said, I love you. And I said, I love you. And then I said, that's Ho'oponopono. I said, you're doing Ho'oponopono, higher self. And she said, she said, higher self, yeah. No, I shouldn't say that. But she said, yeah, Ho'oponopono, try it. And then compare, she was showing me like, you were just doing this vibrational mantra. Now try this one, Ho'oponopono. And so I started doing that. I changed to, I am sorry, please forgive me. And what would initiate me saying this as I was walking around, if I had a thought that came into my head that would maybe make me feel some sort of fear or disconnection from God, it would trigger me doing the Ho'oponopono. So this thought would come up and I could feel that I would be like on the precipice of potentially feeling the disconnection or some slight fear or some slight worry. And I immediately would my mind would swirl and focus on, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And it was like this vibrational verbal salve that then shifted my frequency into this state of eternal peace. Like I was experiencing the correction that was making me go from lack of forgiveness, which is separation from God, to complete surrender into total forgiveness. And I would feel like this just warm, loving, calm, peaceful energy fill my systems. And every time I said the Ho'oponopono, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you, it was like this command to all the cells in my body to shift into this frequency of complete bliss and eternal peace. And then I would go back, I'd come inside and I'd go back and I would read it and say, wow, okay, God is the love in which I forgive myself. And I felt it. I felt how the God inside of me took this already really profound mantra and practice from the Course in Miracles. I put it inside of me. I amplified it and customized it specifically for what would fix my vibration with my past and my perceptions and the whole world of Scarlet. It was like my higher self took it in and customized it for me so that it would be a more profound felt effect. And it was so profound to experience my own customization from my own inner God in relationship to this book, because this is a beloved book. I mean, this is definitely how you enter the gates of heaven inside of yourself and feel eternal peace. 100%, this book will do that for you. To think that this is already that powerful, that then you could then, you yourself, amplify that power even further, that your own inner God will show you how to customize this text so that it's the most effective for you specifically. I mean, that makes the power of it just go up times 10. It's why it's so important that we continue to go inside and rest in this inner void. And like Megan Waterston said, you go in not with the expectation that you're going to find the light. You go in with the expectation of full surrender into whatever comes. And that's where the power is born. You're walking through the tunnel, the unknown mystery tunnel that on the other side leads to union with God. So I think this is a very, very profound practice. Bringing in whatever you're reading, like whatever insight that is inspiring you at that time, you can kind of hone it in. You can bring that into your heartscape, your dream lodge, and then you can allow the God to transform it, your inner God source energy, to transform it and feed it back to you and say, now it's more powerful, it's customized. What? It's so fun. So have fun playing with that new tool. And I love you guys so much. I'm going to start doing a lot of like self-healing videos, and they will be posted on this channel, but I am going to start a second channel that's only going to be for those curandera type how to heal yourself videos. This is going to be like ranch and lifestyle. The daily medicine prayer is going to stay here. So please like and share, subscribe, send this video to someone that you think would really love to expand with this wisdom I just shared. I love you guys so much, and I will see you tomorrow.